Okay, hello everybody, Tstardoughnuts here, and today I'm going to be ranking all the reinforcements in Star Wars Battlefront 2. So this is kind of gonna use a weird format. It's gonna be kind of, well, they'll each be individually ranked from 1 to 19, but then they'll be sectioned into tiers from F to S. So it'll be like a tier list ranking. But each character will be ordered in the tier list. So I hope that makes sense. And yeah, let's get into the video, I guess. Okay, so leading in the bottom of the list, coming in at the number 19 position, is going to be the Ewok Hunter. Now, the Ewok Hunter is a little bit of a weird one, as I originally had it really high up on the list. However, looking back at it, I was watching some other ranking videos, I've seen it ranked really low, and after playing as it a bit, I was like, yeah, actually, this thing kinda sucks. Now the main problem with the Ewok Hunter is it's just so, like, it lacks in so many areas. If you're fighting more than one opponent, you're pretty much always gonna die. It's got the bow. It has to lock onto enemies to actually shoot, which sucks. It's charged long range bow. Well, let's give it a long range option. That option really isn't an option because you're barely ever going to hit anything with it. So yeah, overall the Ewok Hunter just isn't very versatile. So it's down the bottom here at number 19. Okay, and after that we've got the number 18 spot, which is going to go to the Droidica. Now, I know some people absolutely love the Droidica, and it can be fun to play as, but its main problem is just its vulnerability. Now, it does have its shield, which is amazing, but while it's in that shield form, the regular walking form, it is so slow. Not to mention that once you go into the Rolly Boy form, great, it's amazing, so quick, but you are so vulnerable during the transition into and out of that form. So ultimately it's just too vulnerable for me to give it a higher spot, and the weapons don't do it any better because it's just, they don't do enough damage for how slow it is, and it's not quite bulky enough. I've never found myself in a situation where I've lost a fight to a Droidica, so that's why it's down here at number 18. And in at number 17 is going to be the B2 Super Battle Droid. Now, in some other ranking videos I've watched, I've seen this placed really high, around the number 11 spot usually, but I just don't see why. I mean, some people say it's quick for an Enforcer, which it just isn't. I mean, the special, like, lightsaber character kind of evade is cool, but there are better options if you want to have that evade. There's the Commando Droid, which is a far better option and is going to be quite a bit higher on the list, and it doesn't even do that much damage. Its weapons really aren't that good. They're basically the same one as the Droidica. Not sure if they're exactly the same. I think they might be, because the way they fire is very similar. But yeah, it's just a bad reinforcement. It's just really slow and not bulky enough to make up for that. So that's why it's at number 17. Okay, and number 16 is going to be the Flame Trooper. Now, the Flame Trooper I originally had at the bottom of this list. However, I was actually playing as the Flame Trooper, and I realised it's actually pretty good. It's got the greater two-way control. I mean, it doesn't have great range, but the incendiary grenade is amazing, and I think it one-shots all infantry, and can do some massive damage to heroes and reinforcements, so that's amazing. It's just not very versatile, kinda like the Ewok Hunter. It's not got much for long range. So yeah, that's just why it's here. Not really much to say about it. It's just suffers from how situational it is, I guess. Okay, and number 15 is going to be the Wookie Warrior. Now, I know some people think the Wookie Warrior is really good. In all the rankings I've watched, it's been placed pretty high. But it is not very good, in my opinion. It's quite slow, which isn't very good. Its ground pound ability, it just isn't that good. It's not that versatile, and you have to get right up close to opponents, and while you're running very slowly up to those opponents, you're just so vulnerable. Like, I mean, I know it's tanky and it can dish out some massive hits if you can hit 100% of your shots with the bow, the crossbow bowcaster thingy, but I just don't think that can make up for how slow, and it kind of suffers from the same thing as the Droidica, where in a lot of situations it's just very vulnerable. It is by no means a bad reinforcement. All of the reinforcements in this game are absolutely phenomenal. They're all pretty good. But this one, just, yeah, something had to come in at number 15, and this is going to be it. Right, so at number 14 is going to be the first of the jump/jet troopers. Now I've decided to rank these separately because, well, some of them are very similar. I feel like there's a couple that are just very, very different and so much better or worse. Well, they aren't that much worse, but there are a couple that are really good. But yeah, number 14. Actually, I'll talk about number 14 and 13 as the same thing, because they're just so similar. I believe they even have the same blaster. It's going to be the Resistance Jump Trooper at number 14 and the Rebel Jump Trooper at number 13. Now, honestly, they're just, like, they're really good, and the mobility you have on them is amazing, and it's really fun to just be able to use your jetpack, pull out your rocket launcher, and just drop one on them. It's hilarious, and very satisfying to hit. But I just don't think, for how I would think an aerial should be, like these jump troopers should be, I just don't think they fit it very well. They have blasters that are quite slow and more centered to, like, getting big damage out, which I personally think, like, aerials, because they are so quick, should be more like infiltrators, where they've got quite quick rates of fire and a rate at just dealing lots of damage. Maybe if their rifles had a damage nerf and increased speed, they would be a lot better. But yeah, I think as far as that goes, they're just the worst of the jump troopers. Okay, so at the number 12 spot is going to be the B2 RP rocket droid, which is basically the jump, the aerial for the separatists. And it's very similar to the B2 super battle droid, but it's just quicker. It's so much more versatile, and that's really what a lot of this list is, how versatile the class is. And I just think, again, it suffers from the same thing that the Rebel and Resistance jump troopers suffer from, where they just don't suit how I think an aerial should be played. They have more heavy damage and slow rates of fire. But I just think, even though it's a lot slower, I just feel like like, if you're going to have a high damage aerial with slow rate of fire, you got to take it to the extreme, really, in my opinion. So yeah, I just think it does. It's just that little bit better than the Rebel and Resistance jump troopers. Also, I forgot to mention, this is C tier, and 19, 18 and 17 up to the B2 super battle droid. The bottom 3 were F tier. and up to the Imperial Jump Trooper, which is going to be next at number 11 even, is C tier. Right, so as I just said, number 11 and the last entry in C tier is going to be the Imperial Jump Trooper. Now, it is very similar to the Rebel and Resistance Jump Troopers. It's got a very similar blaster, maybe even the same. But just like the B2 Super Battle Droid, I just think it executes it a little bit better. Now, I know some people say that it's the worst one, and honestly, like, you can put these first 4 Jump Troopers in any order you like. They are so similar. So yeah, I don't really see a need to talk about it when it's so similar to the others, so let's just move straight on to B tier and number 10. Okay, so heading out B tier, coming in at number 10 is going to be the Clone Jet Trooper. Now, I think this is by far the best of the base 5 jet/jump troopers, not including the First Order Jet Trooper, because it just operates so differently to the others. But the Clone Jet Trooper, the main thing it has going for it is being what I believe is the perfect way an aerial should run. The blaster on it is phenomenal, and the blasters are the only real differences between these jump jet troopers. And I feel like with the Clone Jet Trooper, they must have just been making this and gone, hey, you know what would be good? Give it a really quick blaster that does insane amounts of damage. Now, the main thing that the Clone Jet Trooper has going for it is that if you know how to play it, which I believe I personally do, you can go on absolutely ridiculous kill streaks with it, and it's so fun as well. So also really good at holding down and taking objectives, so that's a bonus. So yeah, that's why it's in at number 10. And at number 9, and our next entry in B tier, is going to be the CLS XBike. Now, some people don't think the CLS XBike is that good, and I can agree with them on some parts of that. It's quite flimsy, it's not particularly fast for an infiltrator, it's got a slow rate of fire. I do believe that should have been increased a bit, but the one thing it does have going for it is its blaster. It does so much damage. You need to be able, the only way it can work is if you can hit 100% of your shots with it. But if you can absolutely shred with the amount of damage it does. And you also kind of need to hit headshots as well. But other than that, the CLS XBike doesn't really have much going for it, but it is quite versatile. Like, that blaster operates at close range quite well, other than the rate of fire, and it does long range decently as well, so that's why it's in at number 9. So at number 8, and the last entry in B tier, is going to be the First Order Jet Trooper. Now, I believe it's a significant improvement over the Clone Jet Trooper because of the hover. The ability to hover, like, I was playing as this and I was like, why does everyone think it's so good? I was just getting absolutely melted at it, and I still do. I'm still not very good with it, but when I looked at the messages in the top left hand corner of the screen and saw press L2 to hover, because I'm on PlayStation, and then I figured out how to hover. It improves your accuracy when in the air so much, and makes you even harder to hit while you're shooting than being on the ground. Not necessarily as hard to hit if you're just flying around in random directions, but it does allow you to actually hit stuff while in the air. Also, it's rocket launcher. It's pretty good. I still find myself getting destroyed while using it, because you only get 3 shots and it takes a decent chunk of time to reload. But while it's reloading, you can switch to your regular blaster, and it will reload while you've got your regular blaster active. And I think it's the same for if you're reloading your regular regular blaster, can't say regular, if you've got your regular blaster active, and then switch to your rocket launcher thingy, I think it keeps reloading. So you basically never have a situation where you're stuck reloading. So yeah, that's really good. And no other class has that. But yeah, that's gonna do it for the First Order Jet Trooper. So now we're on to A tier, and coming in at number 7 was originally going to be the ARC Trooper, but I decided to switch around the ARC Trooper and the ISB Agent. So the ARC Trooper's coming in at number 6, but I'll go over that in a minute. So the reason I switched these rounds is because the ARC Trooper and ISB Agent are so similar, and I originally thought the ISB Agent was better suited for what an Infiltrator should be. The ARC Trooper is more of a bulky, slowish, whereas the ISB Agent is flimsy and quick, and I think that's what Infiltrators should be. But then I was looking at the abilities, and I realised that the ISB Agent's abilities are kind of terrible. I mean, it makes a really good support, but that's not really what you want an Infiltrator to be. You don't want as an Infiltrator to be sat with your team the whole time. You want to be out there running and getting kills and clearing objectives, rather than pushing up with your team. So its abilities just don't really suit it. It's really good though. I think it's really slept on, because I've seen it put right down at the bottom of lists. And while it is quite flimsy, if you can do well with it, you can dominate. Just like I posted a video the day well, I'm not sure when this is going out, but as of recording, the day before, so yesterday as of recording, I posted a video where I got the world record kill streak as the ISB Agent, 66 kill streak, which is not terrible. But yeah, I just think its abilities really lack. So for that reason, it's in at number 7. But it's amazing reinforcement, so do not let its abilities fool you, because its speed, the melees are really cool, its secondary fire, its pistols are phenomenal. It is a really good reinforcement, but its abilities kind of lack. So then we're going to move swiftly on to to number 6, which is going to be the ARC Trooper. Now, the ARC Trooper, my one main gripe with it is that, again, it doesn't feel like it suits the Infiltrator class massively well. I mean, it suits it quite well, but then you've also got the problem of it's not that quick for an Infiltrator compared to, say, the ISB Agent or the Commando Droid, and it's also more bulky, which obviously means it's going to be slower. But the reason it takes it over the ISB Agent is its abilities. It's got the stun, which is amazing. It's got the rapid fire pistol mode, which I believe it's new because the whole ARC Trooper just got completely reworked. But that ability that allows you to change to a rapid fire pistol, that is such a quick blaster, and it still does a decent amount of damage. That's great. I think they should have made it so it ran out, because that ability is a bit overpowered, where you can just keep it forever. And I think it's just way better than the regular mode, and you still get the secondary fire. I think if they'd taken that away, it would have been much more balanced. But yeah, it's just a great class overall. I just wish it took away some of that bulk and gave it a bit of extra speed, but it's not a massive problem. Also, I did prefer it when it had the dual pistols, because if you had good trigger fingers, you on controller, I'm not sure about PC, but if you do have that really quick reaction times and stuff, you can just fire them so quicker than the pistol fires now. So I wish they kept that, but it's fine that they didn't. It did get completely reworked. Like, it's such a different class now to what it was, and I don't know whether I thought the old version was better, but I'd say they're both really good. And number 5, the last class in A tier, reinforcement in A tier, it's the Evasion Gunner. Now, I originally didn't like the Evasion Gunner, but I could see how good it was. And I've actually played as it a bit, and I've gotten a lot better. And I think my main problem was using the grenade launcher ability. That is my main problem with the Evasion Gunner, actually, is that ability. That is all I think it has wrong with it. You are very vulnerable while you're actually setting up the grenade launcher or switching back to your regular mode. And you also only get 3 shots, which are all quite hard to hit for a grenade like explosive thing. And it's like, it's got such a slow rate of fire, it makes it very vulnerable, so I prefer to stick in the normal mode. But it's also very quick for all that weight it's lugging around, which is surprising. I think they probably should have made it a little bit slower. But yeah, I think it's just, in general, a really, really good reinforcement. So yeah, it's coming in at A tier. Number 5, absolute powerhouse. So now, moving on to S tier, and in at number 4 is going to be my main, the Clone Commando. That's not my main, I read it wrong. Okay, so number 4, the Clone Commando. Now, some people may put this above the Commando Droid, but I've put the Commando Droid actually above this at number 3. But the only reason I've put it below the Commando Droid, because they were both really good classes, and I decided to rank these by have I ever got outplayed by a Clone Commando as the Commando Droid, and have I ever really outplayed a Commando Droid as the Clone Commando. Generally the Commando Droid wins, so that's just my reasoning for putting the Clone Commando below. It's got that really good, like, kind of force push ability. Its melees are really good and really cool with the little hidden dagger. It's also got Fortify, which is an amazing ability, and I believe it has the overheat that most enforcers have. I believe it has that. Probably should have checked, but yeah, it's just all round a very good, very bulky class. And I think if you want to go an enforcer, this is definitely a good one to run. I've just realised how good the reinforcements in the Galactic Republic are. There's not a bad reinforcement in the Galactic Republic, they're all like top tier. That's really good. But then, in at number 3, as I've already said, is going to be the Commando Droid. Now, the Commando Droid is phenomenal. It's got the Vibro Blade, which is really cool. It's kind of annoying that they gave up an ability slot for it. Wish they hadn't, but I get why they did it, because it would have been probably the best reinforcement in the game if it had had an extra really good ability. It's so quick. It's got those special evades, which are amazing. You can slap star card on there that allows it to have an extra evade and shorter evade recharge time. It's got the amazing scanning and smoke bomb combo. Bots. I said it in my house to get longer kill streaks video when I was talking about the Commando Droid. It's like the smoke bomb. Bots don't care about it because bots have a kind of aimbot. They know where you are through the smoke bomb. But against actual players, it's really useful because they will just have to guess where you are or go off and fight someone else. So it's a really good thing for getting away and choosing life, really. But then coming in at number 2 is going to be a class I originally had at number 1, and it's really good. It could be number 1, honestly. It's going to be the Death Trooper. What a class, and it looks cool while doing it as well. It's great looking. It's got the overheat, it's got the Fortify, and it's got that weird electric grenade thingy, which has such good range and allows you to stun people, just pick them off really easily with a couple of quick headshots. But then it's also got the amazing ability to utilize the map. I've spoken about this many times before, but if you get to the final stage of Endor in co-op, go up to the top layer of that last room, or I think that's the last phase in Galactic Assault as well. Go up to that platform, sit there with your overheat on. You can just pick people off, and it's really hard for them to kill you, allows them to get really long kill streaks. So yeah, the Death Trooper, great for getting kill streaks, great for getting high kill games, great for holding down objectives, great for pushing objectives. It's just an amazing class overall. So you may ask, what could beat the Death Trooper? And if you have a good memory of what the reinforcements are, you'll know that it's the Sith Trooper. Now, I originally had the Sith Trooper at number 2 on this list, and after actually playing as the Sith Trooper quite a bit, I realised, wow. And that, I think the main thing the Sith Trooper has going for it is its blaster. It is such a good blaster. It's got that really quick rate of fire, and you think that because it's such a quick rate of fire, like SMG almost style blaster, that it would lose some of that range. But no, it's still phenomenal at range. So it doesn't lose anything from that. It's amazing at close range. You can just spray people so easily. It's got very little bloom. I guess that's not really a big thing in Battlefront though, is it? Most blasters don't. It's got the secondary fire, which is amazing and recharges so quickly. It's got the scanning ability, which as always is really helpful. Pretty basic though, like all infiltrators have it, not much to talk about, but yeah, it's really useful. It's got the grenade, which I think is probably the weakest of its abilities, because I just don't see why it needed that as well as the secondary fire. But then it's also got the I can't remember what it's called, but it's like dash ability. It makes it able to run really quickly, and it also heals health, so even if you don't want to move from your position, if you've been grenaded or something, just stick that on and you'll recover your health, and then by the time it's done, your health regeneration will have started anyway. And the Sith Troopers are also really quick as well, just in general, and the sequel trilogy has some really good maps for things like the Sith Trooper anyway, so it's just a great reinforcement, and there's not really much in the sequel era to actually counter the Sith Trooper, so I think that's one of the primary reasons why it dominates. So yeah, that's going to be my list. So let's just go over it really quickly. F tier, number 19 Ewok Hunter, number 18 Droidica, number 17 B2 Super Battle Droid. C tier, number 16 Flame Trooper, 15 Wookie Warrior, 14 Resistance Jump Trooper, 13 Rebel Jump Trooper, 12 B2 RP Rocket Droid, 11 Imperial Jump Trooper. B tier, 10 Clone Jet Trooper, number 9 CLS X Spy, number 8 First Order Jet Trooper. A tier, number 7 ISB Agent, 6 Art Trooper, 5 Evasion Gunner, and then S tier, 4 Clone Commando, 3 Commando Droid, 2 Death Trooper, and the best reinforcement in the game, in my opinion, is the Sith Trooper. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. That's obviously just my opinions, you're free to have your own, and this wasn't how good I am with the reinforcements, because we all know Commando Droid would be quadruple S tier and everything else would just be A tier. But yeah, it's just objectively what I think is really good, and you might have differing opinions. To me, that's fine. Leave your list in the comments by all means. Also give me video ideas in the comments, because I want to make videos that you guys are gonna actually watch and want to see. So yeah, if you have any suggestions, feel free to put them down and I'll make them. But yeah, that's gonna bring us to the end of the list. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you all later. Goodbye.